FIVEaa.
A shower or two in 15 today with the 6 o'clock news. I'm Mel Usher.
Stiff and sore coming out of lockdown? Call Physio Extra today for an appointment. 6 locations. physioextra.com.
It's back to school and back to work today. Our 7-day lockdown officially ended at 12:01 this morning, but we have a string of restrictions in place for at least another week. Density requirements have returned to 1 person per 4 square metres. Household gatherings are capped at 10 people. 50 can attend weddings and funerals. And face masks are required in indoor settings and for the first time in high schools. Premier Stephen Marshall says they're closely monitoring the situation both here and across the border.
We've got to look at what the risk situation is. We've got to see what happens interstate. We've got to see what happens here in South Australia. I'm very hopeful, especially with the very high testing rate that we have at the moment, that we will be able to have no new cases in South Australia, but we've got to be careful about what happens interstate.
South Australian workers laid off during the lockdown can now access financial support from the federal government. Finance Minister Simon Birmingham says it's been a tough week for many.
Anybody who's lost more than 8 hours of work and isn't receiving some other sort of government payment is eligible for payment of up to $600.
International flights into Adelaide will resume today. They were paused at the request of the Premier. Today's flights will be from Auckland and Singapore. Victoria's 5th COVID lockdown ended overnight. Under the changes, students will return to classrooms, venues can reopen with limited capacity, and residents can leave their home for any reason with the 5-kilometre travel limit scrapped. Home visits remain banned. The New South Wales Premier is set to announce a 4-week extension of Greater Sydney's lockdown today. Yesterday, the state recorded 172 local cases of coronavirus. Queensland authorities are contact tracing everyone who stayed on the same floor of a quarantine hotel in Brisbane after a confirmed COVID leak. A Gold Coast man is believed to have caught the virus from a returned overseas traveller staying in a room opposite him. Former Labor Ministers Tom Kenyon and Jack Snelling will relaunch the Family First Party. The duo will resign from the ALP today. Mr Snelling says they want to stop moves to restrict religious freedoms.
I've just been concerned in the last 3 years what's been happening, particularly moves to restrict religious freedoms, and that's what's motivated me and Tom Kenyon as well to rethink our approach to politics, because we think there needs to be a political party making the argument for religious freedom.
Law enforcement officers have described fearing for their lives during the attack on the US Capitol back in January. Nine's Alison Petrowski is stateside.
DC police officer Michael Fanone told the House how he was assaulted and nearly killed.
I was grabbed, beaten, tased, all while being called a traitor to my country.
Fanone was beaten unconscious and taken to hospital. There he was told he'd suffered a heart attack, a brain injury and later post-traumatic stress. New body cam footage showed the crowd kicking the shields of law enforcement and making threatening comments towards police officers. "You're going to die tonight," one person can be heard saying. The House committee will use this evidence as the starting point for a probe that could lead to seeking testimony from former President Donald Trump. Republican leaders, who have repeatedly opposed the hearing, boycotted the session.
Now to FIVEaa Sport.
Get $200 cash back on Bosch washer dryer packages at Adelaide Appliance Gallery, home of Mr Dishwasher.
And it's good morning to Tom Wren.
And a very good morning to you as well, Mel. Let's start in Tokyo. Australia's first surfing medalist is crediting the sport's inclusion in the Games for his remarkable recovery from a near-fatal injury. In 2015, Owen Wright suffered a near-fatal brain injury in a wipeout in Hawaii. He had to learn to walk and then surf again. The bronze medalist says it's surfing's inclusion in the Olympics that got him through.
There was some moments where I didn't know if this is going to be something for me. And with the Olympics coming on and all the attention that brought, it brought in new doctors, new physios, new attention to the sport, and I ended up getting the treatment I needed.
To football, and Matt Crouch is at least another week away from returning to the senior side. The 26-year-old played with the Crows in the sample against North a fortnight ago, but experienced some groin soreness following that match. Head of football Adam Kelly telling the club's website they'll look to build him up again this week in the hope of playing him in another practice game.
We'll monitor that this week. We made a decision to consolidate his running lows rather than playing the practice match that we played on Sunday. We'll look to reintegrate him into the main group this week before making a decision about what sort of minutes he'll play.
2 games in the Super Netball League last night, with the Collingwood Magpies upsetting the New South Wales Swifts 75-68, while the West Coast FIVEaa beat the Queensland Firebirds 79-69 Tonight, it's the Adelaide Thunderbirds who take on the Sunshine Coast Lightning. And that's the FIVEaa Sport.
Now the FIVEaa forecast.
Audi Solitaire, Metro Dealer of the Year. Visit audisolitaire.com.au.
A shower or two, 15 today. Sunny tomorrow, 16. Friday, partly cloudy and 19. Right now, it's 12 degrees. More news as it happens on FIVEaa.
The new FIVEaa Player app lets you listen to all your favourite FIVEaa shows, news and podcasts wherever you go. Download it now from the App Store.
You're listening to FIVEaa Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
6:06, good morning to you. Welcome to Wednesday on FIVEaa Breakfast. The hard lockdown is over. We'll take you through what that means over the course of the morning and, of course, what it means over the course of the next 7 days. Stephen Marshall, the Premier of South Australia, will join us a little bit later. The big one that we're going to take some time to discuss is impact on school and high school students who now have to wear masks. Rick Purse is the CEO of the Education Department and will join us after 8:30 today. Also, of course, Sean Fuster on a Wednesday morning. Tom Duday after 8 o'clock today. We'll have flashback with Michael Smith. We've got some exciting underdrive-related stuff to reveal, including the fact that we've smashed over $5,000 worth of donations overnight in just the first day of doing it. So the sky's the limit for the Undie Drive. Catherine House in the Hutt Street Centre. We'll talk more about that a little bit later in the morning. David Penberthy, good morning to you.
Good morning, Will. Good morning, listeners. I want to keep my powder dry, but I've been talking to some people and I could have some pretty big Undie-related donation news tomorrow.
Oh,
got to cross a few T's and dot a few I's after the program, but let's just say this could be the big one, Will.
This could be the big one?
Oh, yes, yes.
What? You're going to end homelessness?
Well, you know.
You've been speaking with Jeff Bezos.
That's right. It's become sadly, I haven't been speaking to Jeff Bezos or Richard Branson. That's what we really need, isn't it? We need it to become this sort of, a you-know-what swinging exercise between
that'd be good.
The world's two most lavishly cashed-up billionaires. Forget the first man on Mars.
No, that's rubbish.
First man to fund the Hutt Street Centre and Catherine House in perpetuity.
That's right. It'd be one donation to the Undie Drive could do it. It'd be simple, really.
If you're listening,
and how about this?
You two flint-hearted bastards, get the checkbook out.
And look, we extend the same offer to you as we do all businesses. We'll give you a shout-out.
Yeah.
Or something like...
How about that Amazon?
Hey, David, you know what a great company is? Virgin.
Yeah, that's right.
Blue, Galactic, all of them.
Yeah, I love them. From the early days when they were just a record label. Still remember Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells had the Virgin thing on it. I remember seeing that and thinking, what an interesting record label.
9 minutes
as a lad.
Yeah, absolutely. 9 minutes after 6.
Freedom Day.
Freedom Day. Free at last.
It doesn't quite feel any different yet, though, at 6:10, does it? Because, if you wanted to at the moment, you could go to On the Run or an all-night supermarket.
Which you've been able to do the whole time.
That's right. I don't know. There might be a pub open somewhere. Is the Woolshed open? I mentioned the Woolshed yesterday.
You did. I don't know if they put on extra staff. I don't know if there's any evidence of anyone doing the 12:02 opening this morning.
If anyone rushed out of the house at 1 minute past midnight and managed to locate a beer, let us know. I doubt the pubs were actually ready to roll.
I think after just 7 days, and I say this obviously with no experience of my own, but it seems to me the people that were most in need of and celebrating today are parents. Parents of school-age kids. For them, it's genuine freedom. I think for most other people, okay, you couldn't get out of the house for 7 days and go to your local, but I think for parents, it's a big day.
None of my kids will be awake, and I love them to bits. But at some point yesterday, I thought, I've seen enough of you, and you've all seen enough of me. We've all seen enough of each other. I had a really busy day, and I was doing 2 articles for the paper. I was texting Andy a lot about stories that we've got coming up today. I got involved in this Family First story, massive political story that we're going to be getting into after 8 o'clock with the former Treasurer, Jack Snelling. And then I had to pay all these bills. And I had one of those days where 4 bills arrived at the same time. And then I was trying to sort some stuff out with the bank, and I realised that I haven't been paid for 2 months due to this pay glitch error. Some transitional thing with the pay office for all this stuff for the Australian.
Oh, I was going to say, is it over entertainment? Because I haven't checked.
But all this stuff's happening, and then there's like, we had to do this thing with Sam's homeschooling, the last day of homeschooling, and then I went, oh shit, Jim needs to wear masks in high school now, so I've got to go and get him a mask. I can't find my mask. And it's just like, bloody hell.
You just had a Hayley McEwen moment.
Yeah, well, not quite. I don't know. I'm going to talk a bit about swearing later in the program. I think it's artless and demeaning, the way she responded and the way that Pom responded when he won gold. Like, it's sad that as a species that has the most sophisticated forms of communication of any sentient beings on the face of the earth, the best we can do at the peak moment of triumph in our chosen field is to drop the F-bomb. Is that an old-fashioned view?
Well, okay. I'll say, to what standard do we hold ourselves? Because I'm not going to come on here and say and pillory Hayley McEwen in a moment of pure ecstasy for swearing when I've sworn at frustrating moments in football matches, and I've sworn when something really good's happened. If anyone is...
So say hypothetically we ever won an ACRA award. Do you reckon you'd swear?
In the moment... Well, actually, ACRA. Think of something else.
You might swear. It might be about the award.
Well, it mean we'd have to go.
You might say, fat effing lot of good that award's going to do me.
Exactly right. Look, if you're someone with a copybook that is not blotted on the swearing front, criticise away. But I can't, because I do. And I have.
Let he who is without cuss word throw the first stone, is what you're saying, Will.
That's right.
To put it in a biblical context.
As
Jack Snelling himself might put it.
Well, it sounds to me like you've been knocking around with the Family First guys for the last 24 hours, and suddenly you've come in with this anti-swearing view.
I got the religion.
That's exactly right.
Yes. I don't know. I just think there's better words to use. I'd love to hear from our listeners about it.
Well, for people that missed it, we can't play the audio, but Andy and Lucy have recreated the moment for those that don't know what the context is.
Seriously?
Yeah, well, because we don't have the rights.
So they've done like a play version of it?
Yeah, because how do we talk about bits of audio when we don't have the audio? So here it is.
Your mum Sharon and your big sister Taylor are there watching. It's been such a difficult time for your whole family. What would you like to say to your mum and your sister for now?
Yeah. Oh, shit. Woo!
We'll get the beep ready.
Well, there you go. So that's sort of how it played out, as reimagined by Andy and Lucy earlier.
That was superb.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it?
What about Andy's sort of Aussie stylings as a sports journo? That was terrific. He sounded like Basil Zempler. Next thing he'll be running for mayor.
Quite possibly.
Did he become mayor, Basil Zempler?
Yeah, he is the Lord Mayor of Perth.
We got a great text yesterday from someone saying, why isn't Sandy Verschoor over there?
I think she could do it.
She'd be great.
14 after 6, 8223 0000 is our number. You can text us on the Telstra Stormont Parker text line 044808 1395. News headlines in just a moment.
Get more at Mawson Lakes Volkswagen with great deals on demos right across the range, all ready to drive away. And if you're impressed with our selection of cars, you'll love our service department with next day servicing, complimentary loan cars and breakfast or lunch on us. Why? Because when you're Adelaide's newest Volkswagen dealer, you want to give more. Visit mawsonlakesvw.com.au to see the range online. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, just a short drive from the city.
You can't go past the IGA Big Deal Sale for great specials right across the store. Like Oreo cookies, 133 to 147 gram selected varieties, $1 each, better than half price. Now at your local IGA. Offer ends August 3. Participating stores only. Excludes Foodland.
Now, you all know that I love my local Mitre 10, packed full of quality brands at great prices for all those jobs that need to be done around the home and in the garden. The staff are great too. They will happily give you guidance on the best products, tools and extra helpful advice to get your DIY projects done.
So if you're planning some home improvements or just have some fix-it jobs to do around the home or in the garden, think Mighty Helpful Mitre 10. You can now shop in-store or use their click and collect option to order online, and most stores have delivery options available too.
That's right. Now that the lockdown has ended, you'll be able to get back in there to do stuff that you actually enjoy, you know, wear a mask and all that sort of stuff. But if you want to get those beetroot seedlings, get in there there today. Doesn't matter how big or small the next project is, Mitre 10 can supply everything you need, whether it's great prices on the right products for the job or just some helpful advice. That's mighty helpful, Mitre 10, quality brands at great prices.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide tech guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
The internet, it's worldwide and it's unstoppable, or it was. You have the power to hit pause and give your family a break. If you've got kids, you probably also have a concern that they're spending too much time online. Trend Micro Device Security Ultimate gives parents the ability to set time limits across all devices, not just computers. It will work on gaming consoles, smart TVs, phones, or any other device that connects to the home network. Plus, Trend Micro will filter and protect your family from the parts of the internet you don't want in your home. Get into Harvey Norman now and ask for Richard's Special, the Trend Ultimate Device Bundle plus a year's subscription for just $129.
Check out these great offers at 5AA.com.au. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
You can trust 9 News is live and local. Weeknights at 5, nightly at 6. 9 News.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
17 after 6. We'll get into some news headlines in a moment. Got a text from Corey on the Telstra Store Mount Barker text line. Says, guys, I know we can get up to $600 back from the lockdown if we lost hours, but they didn't say how or where to apply for it. Could you please find out? I know the information I've gotten about financial assistance that's on offer comes from the servicesaustralia.gov.au website, because it's a federal government website. So I won't presume to give advice, but that would be the first port of call. I suspect there's then a Centrelink tie-in because it's a federal government assistance package. So, at very least, that's where I'd go to try and get some more information on that. servicesaustralia.gov.au. It's hard to read it when the roads all run together. Steve's in Roseworthy. Morning to you, Steve.
Morning. How you going, guys?
Good, thanks, Steve.
Just a sad reflection on the media coverage of Kaylee McEwen on 2 points. One is, after watching the replay on the news 2 or 3 times, I was under the mask. I still couldn't understand what she said. It's only the media that's made a huge fuss about it and congratulating her on it and making every time they interview her, wanting to talk about dropping the F-bomb. It's just blown it totally out of proportion. But the other thing is that they're turning the Olympic gold medals now into the same as reality TV. You have to have a story. You cannot be The Voice. You cannot be on Big Brother. You cannot be successful as a husband looking for a wife or whatever, unless someone is dying of cancer. So you have to have someone. Otherwise, you are not going to cut it on reality TV and media in Australia today. And it was embarrassing last night watching them interview her, and instead of talking about her hard work and her success, they kept dragging her back to her father.
I'm a bit with you there, Steve.
It was a disgrace, absolute disgrace.
Steve, it's like the MasterChef contestant where the bowl of hockey and me noodles comes out, and immediately it's like, we understand your mother was killed by a bear, and the sob story begins, and the sad music starts. The sad piano.
Yeah.
It's a really
the
good
drama
point.
of the Olympics is enough. The achievement of what it is enough. It doesn't need to be more dramatic. Something sort of retconning the drama too. Like, the events happened. To make it more dramatic afterwards is bizarre. You know, it was a hard listen yesterday, Olympics, and it was not, well, it was sort of confected, but not in the way that Steve's meaning. Jess Fox's father commentating her disappointing in the end for her, given where she's in the world, bronze medal in the canoe. He's calling it. He's commentating as a special commentator her run, in which the whole world, and the promos on 7, you get a sense of who they think is going to win gold. They promoted the hell out of everything she'd done. They played the whole thing, her backstory, multiple-time world champion, favourite by so far it didn't matter. He's calling the moment, the gut-wrenching moment when it's clear she's not going to win because she hits one of the gates going down the canoe slalom. Yeah. That's real drama. That was hard to listen to. We just went quiet for a little bit in the middle of it. That's really tough.
Equally, though, have we got our priorities a bit out of whack, though, where we regard winning a bronze medal as a sign of failure?
No, I would never say that. It's not a failure. But for her, she's the best.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And has been. She wins everything all the time, except at the Olympics, right? She's won the World Championship all the time. She wins everything. But every time she's come to the Olympics, it hasn't quite worked out for her. So that, in that sense, it's disappointing for her.
I get that. But as a nation, though, we do seem to have this view, we just got a silver.
Oh, absolutely.
But, you see Togo getting their first bronze ever, their only medal, 7-day street parade.
And in that context, shout out Sally Fitzgibbons yesterday when she got eliminated from the surfing. We celebrate feats of athletic excellence at the Olympics. Sometimes you see feats of character excellence, and it was the most impressive interview from a shattered sports person I've ever seen in my life. She was gutted. I don't know how many more Olympics if surfing's ever going to be in, or if she's never going to get another chance. She described it as the most heartbreaking loss of her career in her life, and she was on the edge of tears the entire time, but she acknowledged the greatness of her opponent. She thanked everyone involved in her team and her support. She talked with pride about what it meant to represent Australia. And she acknowledged everyone back home. You watched it going, if other countries see that and go, that's what Australian sports people are like, that's great. That's worth 50 gold medals. Yeah. It was genuinely one of the most impressive things I've seen, and thankfully, 7 have taken to replaying it a little bit too. 22 after 6, let's get to some news headlines. South Australians are emerging from lockdown this morning. But the end of the 7-day shutdown does come with restrictions. It includes lower density limits, capped numbers at gatherings. Masks are now mandatory at all public indoor places like supermarkets, health and aged care facilities and beauty salons. They're also required for students aged 12 and over in the classroom. Here is Premier Stephen Marshall.
We don't want to have a relapse. We only want to do this once. And so we are putting some higher level restrictions in over and above what we had prior. But we will be stepping those down as the risk diminishes.
Victoria is waking up with greater freedoms after the state said goodbye to its 5th COVID lockdown. Under the changes, students will return to classrooms, venues can reopen with limited capacity, and residents can leave their home for any reason. However, there are no changes to the mask mandate, and home visits remain banned. I've got to say, this morning I woke up and it felt like there was a bit of COVID optimism in the world. We had...
England's looking good.
Well, this is exactly right. South Australia and Victoria come out of lockdowns. In the UK, they've recorded 7 consecutive days of reduced numbers of cases.
If the problem pull this off, Boris Johnson is going to be potentially the mad genius who saved the planet.
Well, the guy they call Dr. Lockdown over there, who was warning against Freedom Day, who said you're going to have 200,000 cases a day if we do this. He's now saying, well, hang on this rate, we'll be saying goodbye to COVID in October.
But what's the thing that's got him there? Is it sadly the fact that so many people got it?
Well, it's a combination of that and the vaccine rate. Now, there's a caveat.
So all those poor people who died have basically taken one for the team. Everyone who got it over there has helped get it to the point.
That's right.
Where it's just running out of steam,
now,
as viruses can do.
If you dig down on the data, there's a counter-argument, and I think our listeners might find it to be a fairly compelling one. Deaths are up. Deaths are up. They haven't also gone down day on day. So what might be happening is the vaccines have mean there's far more number of minor cases. It is there are more cases out there, but they're so minor people aren't bothering to register or get tested now because it's just sort of flu, cold, didn't even notice I had it.
Yeah.
But there are still the odd, there are still the odd acute case.
Yeah.
So it's not a perfect picture, but it does suggest that things are moving in they're certainly not moving in the disastrous direction.
It's not a perfect picture, but you know what it makes it? The flu.
Absolutely.
With 3 years ago we did do a fair bit of coverage on it because it was such a out of character flu season.
I remember it.
But normal flu seasons, you have dozens of deaths.
Yeah.
They don't make the news.
That's right. That's exactly right.
We don't come and going, tragically a 97-year-old man has died overnight at the Royal Adelaide Hospital from the flu.
Yeah. We did that one year when there was a ridiculously high number of deaths in Australia.
But even then, it took about 2 months for it to become a story.
Yeah, and it was a one-day story.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, let's check the weather today. Geez, it poured down for about 30 minutes and an hour and a half ago in the west. Crikey, it was intense. 11.9 outside at the moment, up to 8 mils of rain expected. It clears up tomorrow, rain-wise. Still cool, top of 16. No rain either on Friday, top of 19, but she's back for the weekend, top of 17 Saturday with up to 10 mils of rain. 15 on Sunday with 4 mils of rain.
Good leaders always look to support local, and they stay local. Like Leader Computers, Australia's largest Australian-owned PC manufacturer, based right here in South Australia. Having a world-class manufacturer of computers is a big win for our state, providing jobs and local support you simply can't get from overseas companies. Looking for the latest Intel and Microsoft-based computers at great pricing with the huge benefit of local support? Google Leader Computers to find your closest Leader reseller.
At Coles, we're doing everything we can to help you shop safe. That means extra cleaning in-store and contactless click and collect to your car. Please remember to check in via the QR code when you shop in-store. It's all to help you shop safe at Coles.
Now, David, I know you're excited about this. All of South Australia's excited about this. Goodings Warehouse is reopening to the public from this Saturday.
I said on last Tuesday's program, I actually went there the Monday before the lockdown started.
Exactly.
I run out of canned tomatoes. I need some more passata. And as I was on my way there, we all heard that they were in the news for all the wrong reasons. Now they are back in the news for all the right reasons. This is awesome news. Goodings, such an iconic South Australian business. We need to get around them. There's no need to panic buy, but do pay them a visit and stock up on some amazing products. There's so much to choose from. Where do I start?
Well, there's some great winter saver store deals on tomato and pasta products, regular saving on bulk buys, and we know you're a big fan of tzatziki, David, as well.
I love that stuff. The taramasalada, the Kalamata olive dip, herb, spicy one. All the dips are fabulous. They've got great dairy goods, all that excellent Greek cheese like the Kefla Graviera, the Kasseri. They've got flour, baking products, proper oregano, olive oil, antipasto beans, every bean you could think of, Goodings garlic, and of course, the amazing Nostamini.
So head to Bacon Street, Hindmarsh, support this fabulous SA business. Goodings, open from this Saturday.
3 words your friends and family never like hearing.
We're moving house.
Well, you can always rely on budget truck and car rentals to help out. From 3-ton moving trucks you can drive on a car licence to vans and moving trailers. Budget car and truck rentals make it easy as to move house. Do it right in half the time and save money with budget car and truck rentals. Call 13 27 27.
You might think having thousands of pals is excessive, but that's not what the team at Parafield Airport Liquor Store think. Because that's how many they have. Sure, they might be made up of over 100 gins, over 200 whiskies, over 300 craft beers, and over 2,000 boutique wines. But they're some of the best pals you could have, and they're always looking for more, even if they are tricky to track down. Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Pals, next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
Nothing beats that new car experience, and you'll still be feeling it long after you drive away in a new Kluger 7-seat hybrid SUV from Jarvis Toyota. With all-wheel drive, hybrid power and intelligent safety technology, the Kluger is where freedom meets family. The buzz around the new Kluger is huge, and you can experience it for yourself with a test drive at Jarvis Toyota Clovelly Park today. Rediscover the road in the all-new Toyota Kluger Hybrid at Jarvis Toyota South Road, Clovelly Park. Proudly celebrating 20 years of great deals.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube.
The new 5AA Player app lets you listen to all your favourite 5AA shows, news and podcasts wherever you go. Download it now from the App Store.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
29 after 6, Tom Wren in the studio with us. Get $200 cash back on Bosch Washer Dry Packages, Adelaide Appliance Gallery, the home of Mr Dishwasher. Morning to you, Rennie.
Morning, Will. Morning, David. Day 4 done. The Aussies still 7th on the medal tally over in Tokyo. 3 gold, 1 silver, 5 bronze. Looking forward to another big day, particularly in the pool. There's been so much to watch. But I think one of the real sensations yesterday for the Aussies was Owen Wright winning the bronze in the surfing.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
First time, surfing's gone in there, and he was a great story. He had this near-fatal injury in 2015. He comes out and he wins a bronze medal and says the inclusion of surfing has really kept him going for the Olympics.
I enjoy watching it. I think surfing's great.
I tell you what, though, it's not a good advertisement for Japan's beaches, is it? How crap does the water look?
And the black sand?
Yeah. Is it like volcanic sand?
It must be, yeah.
Yeah, but amazing waves and swell with that storm that's sort of just off the coast.
Yeah, the typhoon saved the surfing tournament.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
earlier in the week it was looking a little bit like
dire.
where they take little kids to learn how to surf.
Yeah.
Those sort of...
That's where I need to go.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Bit unnerving that you can still see the remains of that nuclear reactor in the background, but other than that, it's all good.
But it made me think, fellas, and I know you discussed it a little bit, 2032, Brisbane, what sport should we get in for the Olympics? Surfing this time around in 2021. I thought netball would be a good one.
Yeah, I agree. I reckon in all seriousness, netball.
Netball would be a great one. Cricket, but maybe beach cricket. That'd be a good one.
Beach cricket.
Well, hey, if there's 3-on-3 basketball and rugby sevens, like derivative made-up sports, have beach cricket.
Beach cricket.
Why not?
Well, how about backyard cricket?
Backyard cricket's good.
You have different backyards, a bit like the skateboarding track. You have different backyards. Like if you hit the car, it's 6 and out. You know, or if you get it in the pot plant, it's 8.
Yeah, I like that. Brandy, is that an Australian sport? You're just pegging the ball and it's a bit like dodgeball.
You're it.
2 up, maybe that.
Two
could
up.
work.
Yeah.
That's a good Aussie game.
Yeah, and anyone can play.
Darts.
Darts, yeah.
Darts 100% is a sport and
It's
should
a
be in the
great
Olympics.
sport.
Should
Yeah.
be in the Olympics.
Is that an Australian sport or is that...
A lot of arguments about the rules. You can't play 4 pick-up 4s in a row.
Lucy's nodding her head. She's 100% on the inclusion bandwagon.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll leave you with that.
No, that's good stuff, Freddie. A bit to chew over there. All right, it's 5AA News. We'll be back with more shortly.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Showers and 15 today with the 6:30 news. I'm Mel Usher.
Trust Physio Extra. Norwood, Purie Street, Marion, Hallicove, Seaford and Victor Harbour. PhysioExtra.com.
The lockdown ended overnight, meaning it's back to school and work today, but it's a new normal thanks to ongoing restrictions. Weddings and funerals are capped at 50 and home gatherings at 10, while masks are mandatory in public indoor places like supermarkets, health facilities, beauty salons and, for the first time, high schools. Density requirements are 1 person per 4 square metres. Shadow Treasurer Stephen Mulligan says that's less than ideal.
There are thousands of businesses and their employees that remain under really severe restrictions. Once again, there'll be a massive impact on thousands of tourism operators, function centres, cafes, restaurants, hotels and bars due to the cap of 25% of their normal capacity. And this restriction will make it simply unviable for many businesses to reopen.
Victoria's latest lockdown officially ended overnight, but they too have restrictions. Nine's Isabella Stokowski has more.
Until vaccination rates are higher, rules will remain in Victoria. That's the message from the Premier. Lockdown 5 is no more, but it has been replaced by Lockdown Light. So while, for example, kids will return to school today and plenty of people will be getting a haircut, the restrictions remain tough. Masks are here to stay. Crowds are banned, as are home visitors. In fact, of the past 11 weeks, it's been illegal to have friends or family over for 7 of those weeks. Landmark shopping strips are struggling. In some areas, data shows 1 in 5 shop fronts are now vacant, and the CBD is littered with full lease signs.
A 4-week extension of Sydney's COVID lockdown is expected to be made official today. Current stay-at-home orders are due to expire on Friday, but case numbers are soaring. Yesterday's figure was 172. Britain's leading scientific advisor says the worst of the pandemic could be over in the UK by October. Nine's Steve Marshall reports from London.
Dubbed Professor Lockdown, epidemiologist Neil Ferguson had predicted infections could surge to 200,000 a day when restrictions were lifted. But he now believes the high volume of vaccinations could see the bulk of the pandemic behind Britain by October. Daily case numbers have been steadily dropping for the last 7 days. The latest figures show 23,500 new infections in the last 24 hours. But deaths are on the rise, with 131 recorded, the highest since March. Prime Minister Boris Johnson's controversial Freedom Day was only 9 days ago. Any flow-on effect is still unknown.
The Family First Party is set for a revival. Former Labor ministers Tom Kenyon and Jack Snelling will quit the party today. Mr Snelling says they've had enough of attacks on faith-based organisations.
I think we've seen with both Labor and Liberal parties a significant shift on providing faith-based organisations with sort of protection so they can go about their business so that they can teach the faith as they see it, but most importantly, so they can pass their faith onto their children.
Local motorists using the real-time fuel pricing app are saving almost $30 a month. That's according to a new survey by the FIVEaa. The feature has been accessed by 105,000 users since its launch in March. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Get $200 cash back on Bosch washer-dryer packages at Adelaide Appliance Gallery, home of Mr Dishwasher.
What's happening in Tokyo, Tom Wren?
Well, Australia Mel, they're currently sitting in 7th place on the medal tally with 9 medals, including 3 gold, heading into day 5 of the Tokyo Games. Meantime, one of the major stories emerging surrounds American gymnast Simone Biles, whose immediate future's under a cloud after last night withdrawing midway through the team's event. Nine's Shane McGuinness reports.
Simone Biles has cited mental demons and a fear of jeopardising her team's chances at a medal after last night walking away from the team's event after just one vault. Biles admitted that she freaked out in a high-stress situation and then opened up on her mental health battles and the stresses of performing at the highest level. The winner of 4 gold in Rio 5 years ago says she felt like she was competing for other people in Tokyo and not for herself, and that the pressure of competing at the Games had started to become a burden. Biles is yet to commit to competing in the individual events, however admits her goal for the Olympics now is to focus on her own well-being.
To football, and Port Adelaide still doesn't know where it's playing this weekend's match against GWS. The Power are in Melbourne and are a chance to regain Orazio Fantasia from a knee injury. Charlie Dixon was a little sore after the match at Marvel Stadium last week, but he's told Rowie and Treaders that had a bit to do with the surface.
It's a heavy, hard deck, and we sort of had that 6-day turnaround, so it was that just sort of adds to it. I mean, the game's hard, like gets harder every week, you know, and this sort of sticky period during the year is enormous, and also the length of games are just ridiculous these days.
And the West Coast Fever are now on top of the Suncorp Super Netball ladder following a 10-goal win against the Queensland Firebirds last night. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Audi Solitaire, Metro Dealer of the Year. Visit audisolitaire.com.au.
15 today with a shower or 2. Sunny tomorrow 16. Friday partly cloudy 19. Right now it's 12 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
Twenty-three minutes to 7. Coming up after 7 o'clock this morning, we'll flash back with Michael Smith. Sean Fuster after 7:30. We'll go round the courts. Then a massive 8 o'clock hour. Jack Snelling, who is, I don't know what his formal position is, refounder of the resurrected Family First Party, the reinvented,
there, Will.
reimagined. Yeah, I know. He'll join us anyway. Jack Snelling after 8 o'clock. Tom Duday also on the program. Crow Star after their win last week, the Premier of the state and also the head of the Education Department on the masks mandate for schools. The other thing that is bubbling along in the background, and it is bubbling along loudly, and we are 24 hours in, just delighted in how the Undy Drive is going. Thanks to Edwardstown Mazda. We had to change, of course, the Undy Drive. We had to go to a website instead of having a drive because the lockdown and the requirements and the restrictions meant we couldn't go about sharing underpants in various public places. It just was suddenly frowned upon. So what we did is we've gone to a website, mycause.com.au/undydrive, and you can make a donation as little or as large as you like. We've all become good at buying and doing things on our phones in lockdown and having to do things remotely or on your computer or how it might be. But you go to mycause.com.au/undydrive. We're well and truly over $5,000 now.
That's awesome.
Just 24 hours in.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot of undies.
Exactly. It was this time yesterday we started talking about it.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
In $5,000 in 24 hours. All thanks to Edwardstown Mazda and indeed everyone who's donated. And our commitment to you remains the same. Nice big donation, nice big shout out for your business. And the nice big local business gets a nice big warm 5AA shout out. So make sure you donate. Let it be known, and we'll talk about it on the program over the course of the day. Then, of course, all the money goes to Hutt Street Centre and Catherine House. Now, David, there's been quick out of the blocks, and then there's what Naomi Will from Naomi Will Real Estate did. The very first time we mentioned that we were doing the Undy Drive was back. The very first mention, on the very first day, when we didn't even know how we were going to be doing it or what world would be in once we got towards the end of July and early August when the day was going to originally happen, Naomi Will rang up and made a donation of $1,000. $1,000. We've added it to the tally, which brings us this morning to $6,480. Naomi, good morning to you, and thank you so much for your incredibly generous donation.
Good morning. How are you?
We're good, thanks, Naomi. We're a hell of a lot better for the generosity that you've shown. It really means a lot to us, and most of all, it means a lot to the people at Catherine House and also the Hutt Street Centre.
It's actually a lot easier to donate this way with the fund set up, but how you've set it up. But thank you so much for giving us the ability. Thank you for everything that you do for everybody and all the causes that we've done over the years. Thank you.
No, we know you've backed it in the past, and it's a hugely important thing for the business community to get involved as well. Now, tell us a bit about Naomi Will Real Estate.
Naomi Will Real Estate, obviously me, sales, property management, basically anything you can do to help someone with their home. I mean, I'm in a really fortunate position that I can help people with houses. It's the number one thing that you need. So I'm just glad that I can forward on some of the good luck that I've had towards you guys. So thank you.
You do a lot down south too, don't you, Naomi? I know you're involved with junior sport. You sponsor the one of the netball teams or a few of the netball teams at South Adelaide, don't you?
South Adelaide, I sponsor the C6 Ladies, which is a disabled league, and also in the Matrix Netball Club, I sponsor the C6 Ladies, Marion Bowling Club.
Yeah, right.
There's a few things that I do. I'm supported a fair bit by a lot of other people, so I'm happy to give back.
That's terrific.
Have you got a big backlog of open inspections and properties that you're dealing with now, given we haven't been able to do anything for the last week?
Well, I've actually sold a few over COVID, sight unseen.
Really?
So,
sight unseen?
Sight unseen. So, it's just crazy times. COVID, I was sort of looking forward to, which sounds a bit bizarre, feet up on the desk, watching the Olympics, dog under the feet.
That's right.
Well, that all went to you-know-what, but it all went crazy over COVID with the sight unseen bit.
Oh, well, that's good to hear. Good on you,
Naomi. Must have
Naomi.
sent out the right email, yeah.
Yeah, well,
it's on the email technique.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, good on you, Naomi. $1,000. That's terrific.
That's awesome. Thank you
You
so
are
much.
more than welcome. Take care, guys. You have a good day.
Yeah,
you too, Naomi.
Naomi Will from Naomi Will Real Estate. Now you can, if you heard Naomi just there, and why wouldn't you want to go check it out, because she just is delightful. Naomi Will Real Estate, 1161 South Road at St Mary. So the tally again is $6,480. We're just 24 hours in. We're going to be doing this right through. In fact, we're up to $6,500. Someone's chipped in $20 just to get us to the nice round $6,500.
Tidy it up a bit.
In fact, it's Luke. Luke,
On
legend. Your legend, Luke. We're going
Luke the legend.
We're going to have some fun with this after 7 o'clock. So stay listening, because we suddenly think there is no ceiling on what the Undy Drive can do this year.
No,
it has been pushed up against a wall. And the Undy Drive's fought back in an incredible way just 24 hours in. And, tenaciously. Don't corner the Undy Drive.
That's right.
This is getting really exciting. So we're going to talk more about it after 7 o'clock. But in the meantime, if you'd like to make a donation, we'd love you to do so. Just go to mycause.com.au/Undy Drive. 17 minutes to 7 and time to check traffic thanks to Air Conditioning Warehouse Sales. They've got Adelaide's biggest air conditioning brands and best prices. Airwaresales.com.au.
Good morning. At Regency Park on the North-South Motorway, some tools and gear has fallen off the back of a vehicle and is in the middle of the road. Speeds reduced outbound. Paracombs smashed on Gorge Road and Torrens Road, and another collision at Millbrook, Northeast Road near Fiddler's Hill Road. And got a severe weather warning current for Adelaide and the hills today, so do take extra care. If you're heading back into work today, look out for cameras Gorge Road, Athelston, and Main South Road at Morford Vale. What's for lunch? How about a burrito or bowl from Guzmani Gomez for just $9.90? Choose from delicious pulled pork, grilled chicken, slow-cooked beef and more, just $9.90 at GYG. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
So, why go with NRG Solar?
The reason why we became an NRG Solar customer was because primarily we trusted Michael, and we've seen a lot of stuff on the internet about how cheap and nasty some of the goods were and some of the services. And Michael explained to us what NRG Solar did, and it seemed to us the logical way to go. We didn't seek other quotes because we were very trusting of Michael's expertise and that of the implementers of the system.
Visit nrgsolar.com.au.
Hi, it's Wayne from Wayne Phillips Kia. Are you considering a new Kia? There's no better place to check out the range than SA's #1 Kia dealership, Wayne Phillips Kia at Brunella. Meet our team and experience why we're SA's Dealer of the Year and have been for the last 6 years. Drop in, or if you can't come to us, we'll come to you. Don't buy a Kia anywhere until you've seen us for the absolute best deal with great, friendly and professional service. Wayne Phillips Kia, Main South Road, Ranella.
Now, they were there for us during lockdown. They continue to support our community. And, of course, we're talking about the Adelaide Central Market, and they are open for business.
I'll tell you what's nice, being able to do these ads today, we just did one before for Goodings, now we're doing this one for the Adelaide Central Market. The fact that we can make all these announcements show that this is not, people use the word business, they go, oh, it's all about business, and this is about people. These are people with jobs, people selling stuff, supporting local growers, local food producers. It's great to see all of these businesses coming back to life now that the lockdown has ended. With 70 traders under one roof, shopping at the market means you're supporting a huge network of families, family businesses, local suppliers, producers and growers.
As always, there's heaps of the best fresh produce, including fruit and veg, seafood, meat, bread, milk, cheese, continental, even take-home meals. And if you can't get to the market, simply order your favourite market goodies online for contactless home delivery every Tuesday, Thursday and Friday.
Their website is terrific, and of course the market itself is fantastic. The Adelaide Central Market open Tuesday to Saturday. For more info, visit adelaidecentralmarket.com.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
This is staggering. Last year there was 2.9 billion targeted attacks on home networks as we share more of our life online through social media, online banking and shopping, emails and browsing. It's more important than ever to be security conscious. All smart devices have computer capabilities which can bring data into our homes, but any device that can carry data into our home can also carry data out. Trend Micro Device Security Ultimate will work on gaming consoles, smart TVs, phones or any other device that connects to your home network. Call into Harvey Norman and ask for Richard's Special and a massive saving on the Trend Ultimate Device Bundle, plus a year's subscription for just $129.
Check out these great offers at 5AA.com.au. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
You can trust 9 News is live and local. Weeknights at 5, nightly at 6. 9 News.
The new 5AA Player app lets you listen to all your favourite 5AA shows, news and podcasts wherever you go. Download it now from the App Store.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
12 minutes to 7. We're off to Tokyo very shortly, but first let's check in with SAPOL. Senior Constable Dave Muir's on the line. Morning, Dave.
Good morning.
Now, you've caught up with a couple of high-range drink drivers last night.
Yeah, the first one, this was just after 9:30 last night. In fact, an MFS crew came across a taxi just in the middle of Hampstead Road at Clearview, which appeared to run out of fuel and just been left there. So Northern Traffic Patrol was nearby and, after investigation, located the registered owner of that Toyota Camry taxi at his home address. He submitted to a breath test where he returned an alleged reading of 0.261, more than 5 times the legal limit. So that 43-year-old Northfield man is reported for drink driving and breaching the Emergency Management Act. He'll be fronting court at a later date. He also got a 12-month immediate loss of licence and his car was impounded for 28 days.
Was he the driver of the taxi, Dave?
Yep.
Geez, you wouldn't want to be hailing that one.
No, you wouldn't want to be getting in that one.
Won't be for 12 months at least.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Same with this chap, although he's not a taxi driver as far as I know, but this was just after 5:30 this morning, so a little while ago. Police called to the corner of East Terrace and South Terrace in the city where a man was asleep in a car that appeared to have maybe been involved in a crash recently. When patrols arrived and approached the Honda, they found the driver, a 28-year-old Clemsic man, fast asleep at the wheel. So we woke him up. Gave him a breath test, and he returned a reading of 0.287, so he was almost 6 times the legal limit. So again, reported for drink driving, he's lost his licence for 12 months and his car for 28 days, and he'll front court at a later date as well.
Unbelievable. Dave, also, teenagers been caught raking through somebody's car.
Yeah, this was just after 3 o'clock this morning. Police were called to Faith Road after the owner of a Toyota sedan. He found 5 teens going through his car in the street. Now, the group ran off, but the suspect was detained by the owner, who also recovered his mobile phone and a wallet from him. When police arrived, they searched the teen, also located a bottle of cologne in his pants, which belonged to the victim. So 13-year-old Davern Park teenager was charged with illegal interference and theft. He'll front the Elizabeth Youth Court later in September. We are asking if anyone wakes this morning to discover their car broken into in that area, give the police assistance line a call on 131 444.
Good on you, Dave. Thank you for that. Thanks. Senior Constable Dave Muir from SAPOL. Let's talk weather. Tom Bowick, Senior Forecaster at the Weather Bureau. Morning to you, Tom.
G'day, Dame Will.
Feels like we had a little bit of rain already this morning. How much more do you think we'll get?
Yeah, look, there's going to be some further showers around. There's been generally sort of 1 to 8 millimetres about the plains. There's been mostly about the northern parts of the plains actually there, and 5 to 15 millimetres has occurred in the hills, so that's since 9 a.m. yesterday. There's more showers on the way for today, so we do have sort of a frontal system passing to the south. It's going to be pretty windy today as well, so we've got a high chance of there being some showers around. Maximum temperature of 15 degrees, 15 for Glenelg, 14 for Elizabeth and Noarlunga, 12 degrees for Mount Barker, and yes, the winds look like being sort of gusty at times today, so we do have some strong winds at times today and gusty conditions. Now, Thursday, Friday, good news there. We've got a couple of dry days coming up, even sunny conditions on Thursday with a maximum of 16 degrees in winds, a northwest and northerly airstream, should I say. Friday, maybe a little bit of cloud around, but still 19 degrees there for a maximum, so and north to northeasterly winds. But unfortunately for the weekend, looks like there will be some showers returning again with a frontal system moving through on Saturday and a low moving to the south on Sunday. So we've got some showers around for Saturday and 17, a shower or two for Sunday and 15. Monday, Tuesday looks like in sort of northwest to westerly airstream there will be continuing shower activity off and on, 15 for Monday, and same for Tuesday there, guys.
Good on you, Tom. Thank you for that.
Tom.
Senior Forecaster Tom Bowick from the Weather Bureau. 8 to 7. We're off to Tokyo right after this.
What do you hear? Irritating static or a calming ocean? For tinnitus sufferers, how you perceive low-level noise can seriously impact sleep and well-being. But the brain can be taught to isolate the noise and eliminate it. The Tinnitus Treatment app can help train your mind while you sleep. Begin your free 30-day trial now. Search Tinnitus Treatment in your app store and sleep away tinnitus.
When people walk through the doors at Pals, the first thing they say is wow. Not only because of the size and the selection, but also because of the team. Sam and Jamie have tasted every drop. They and their team can recommend a whiskey that's just as good as that hard-to-find Japanese one, if they don't have it, that is. Or a beautiful red that's reminiscent of that outstanding cellar door you once travelled so far to visit. Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Pals, next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
Now, ask anyone with strong family values, and they'll tell you without blinking an eye that family is everything.
Absolutely. Edwardstown Mazda have built their entire business around family values. They may not be related by blood, but the whole Edwardstown Mazda team share a strong bond and an incredible sense of family. It's what sets them apart, and it's one of the reasons you'll feel so confident when it comes to buying a new Mazda from them or servicing your current vehicle, no matter what make or model it is.
And the family values that they adhere to are on display with their support for the Undie Drive. It's been fantastic.
Exactly.
Just like family, Edwardstown Mazda, they've always got your back.
When it comes to Mazda, it's got to be Edwardstown Mazda, 862 South Road. Visit edwardstownmazda.com.au.
Here at FIVEaa, we're all about supporting local. Whether it's heating or cooling, Air Conditioning Warehouse Sales has Adelaide's biggest air conditioning brands and Adelaide's best prices. Visit airwaresales.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
6 to 7, we're off to Tokyo. Christine Ahern is live in Tokyo for the Nine Network. Christine, good morning to you.
Good morning, David and Will.
So, Christine, let's start with our headliners over there. We had a bit more success yesterday in the pool and in the ocean.
Yeah, that's right. And look, normally Olympic fairy tales don't go to script, right? But this one certainly did. This is Kayleen McEwen in the 100 metres backstroke final. What made this particularly emotional is that she lost her father to brain cancer late last year, and she's had to battle all through that. And she said after her gold medal win that she felt him with her as she won the gold. And, you know, just a really emotional moment. She's got a little memory of him tattooed on her foot, and she said, you know, she hopes that she did him proud, and she certainly did yesterday in the 100 metres backstroke final.
Yeah, it was a remarkable swim, and certainly with so much happening in her family in the last 12 months, would have put so much pressure on her. So a huge credit to her to hold it together. Hey, Christine, what's going on with the pool with all of these weird dead heats?
This is weird. Last night there was another dead heat, Isaac Stublety Cook in the 200 metres butterfly heat. Now, normally a dead heat, in a heat, you go, oh, well, that's unusual, but whatever. But, I mean, this is about the 5th or 6th, so it's fishy. I've never been to an Olympics before where there has been so many dead heats. I've never been to a swimming championship ever where there's been so many dead heats. Emma McKeon was involved in one of a quite controversial one because the shot overhead certainly looked like she had won by about half a stroke. So as to the official line from FIVEaa, which is swimming's world governing body, they say there is nothing wrong with the timing, but I mean, certainly the odds of this happening are very, very, very high. So we'll have to wait to see if there's going to be another one in the pool.
Some huge news overnight. Arguably the biggest star in the US Olympic team pulled out of the gymnastics.
Yeah, this is Simone Biles, the US great gymnast, and there had been so much expectation on her in Tokyo. So she pulled out of the team's event last night. And she said afterwards that it was because of her mental health. She didn't do so well in the vault, which, of course, she is the queen of. And she said she's just really feeling the expectation of so many people, that so many people have placed on her here, and that her mental health must come first. She says it has helped that a lot of people, like Naomi Osaka, the Japanese tennis star, have come out and spoken about their battle. So whether we're going to see Simone Biles in action later in the games, we're just going to have to wait and see. She said she's just taking it day by day, but certainly, we hope that she does manage to get on top of that, and we do see her back out here in action in Tokyo.
Yeah, very sad story.
Yeah.
Hope she sorts herself out.
Christine, good on you. Hey, how's the weather over there? What's the story with the typhoon situation?
Look, it is it's a 1 hour behind you guys, and it's already 28 degrees Celsius. Actually, I should say an hour and a half behind you guys, and already 28 degrees Celsius. So it is hot. But the typhoon seems to have passed, so we are not expecting any kind of further disruptions because of that. We have had a couple of events, including the rowing, the sailing, the archery, and the surfing yesterday. That little event was brought forward by a day, which of course saw Australian Owen Wright win Australia's first ever Olympic surfing medal. And he did so with a remarkable comeback because it was only 6 years ago he suffered that wipeout and nearly fatal brain injury. So amazing comeback for him. But in terms of the typhoon, hopefully we've seen the end of it. And with everything these games have had to battle, first a pandemic, then the heat, then a typhoon, let's hope all the dramas are now behind us.
Yeah, absolutely. Good on you, Christine. Christina Ahern for the Nine Network live in Tokyo. Let's read some texts. Telstra Stormont Barker text line coming in over the course of the first hour of the show this morning.
We got a very helpful text here from Frank in Huntfield Heights in reply to one of our other listeners, Corey, who texted at the start of the program saying, how do I go about finding the $600 compo for the lockdown for losing working hours? Frank says, hi guys, regarding COVID-19 disaster relief payments, go to MyGov and there's a link to follow, or just go through Centrelink. It should take 10 minutes to complete. Have your employer's address, phone number, trading name and ABN handy, as well as your bank account details. A very helpful text, Frank. We appreciate that. And I like this one from Samir in Dernancourt. Guys, watching a lot of the Olympics the last few days, how wonderful is Ian Thorpe? I could listen to him all day.
He's a sensational analyst.
He's really good, isn't he?
His ability to be, 50% through a race and say, "Oh, we'll medal here," or "it's not looking good." He can call it so far out. You feel like you're getting real insight with his commentary. He's terrific.
Yeah. And Guy says, "Hey guys, my son had to do an assignment for homeschooling on what sport to include in the Olympics, and he chose water balloon fights."
Well, now there's something. I don't know how they are officiated, but
You can get those really good ones at Big W that there's 40 attached to these little plastic sticks with a thread to put onto the hose, onto the tap rather. You turn the tap on full bore, put a bucket underneath it, and they're self-filling.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's convenient.
So you got 40 ready to just unload on your kids.
See, some people might raise an eyebrow, but if that's on, you're giving it 5 minutes, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
You're not flicking over.
We'd be good at it too, being an aquatic nation, I think.
Yeah. Oh, you've sold me. 2032 water balloon fights. Yep. Let's do it. It's 7 o'clock. 5AA News on the way, and some undie drive related fun in just a moment.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio, and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide.